Ok, Climax Studios, che sono gli sponsor, come sapete, di Svilupparty, adesso racconteranno alcune cose riguardo all'azienda, che è molto grande, molto strutturata, e poi Pin farà un excursus di quelle che sono le diverse modalità di approcciare la carriera dello sviluppatore di videogiochi, quindi vari livelli che possono essere affrontati, diciamo, da esperto del settore di lunga data. Adesso io do il microfono a questo bell'uomo. Bell'uomo means a beautiful man.
I am a beautiful man.
Yes, absolutely.
You're a beautiful man too.
Yes, absolutely. And a great dancer.
The best
Okay.
dancer. The best dancer. All right. Roughly here. Roughly here.
Cool. So,
Shall we start with the showroom?
yeah.
I'll give a little intro.
Cool. So, whenever you're ready.
Good morning. Hello. Welcome. We're just going to show you our 2024 showreel. Going to give you a little oversight about working at Climax Studios, and Ben's going to give you his personal journey into video games. So, excellent. Okay. Who we are. So, a little bit of history about Climax. We were founded nearly 30 years ago, and our main studio is located in the south of England, in Portsmouth. We have an extensive history of developing all kinds of games across all kinds of formats, all kinds of platforms. Currently, a lot of co-development work, tech problem solving, and we've won many awards along the way. Most recently, for Returnal on the PS5. Continue to be involved in new tech such as VR, AR. Currently have 5 AAA projects in development across all studios. We have recently joined Keyword Studios, and there are 74 studios across the world, 23 countries across all 5 continents. Very important to Climax, diversity and inclusion. Over half of Climax Studios staff, which currently numbers 200, are from overseas. We have people from Belgium, Italy, Netherlands, Finland, and as far away as Australia. Our focus is on skill set, and we work hard to ensure that our teams are balanced and representative of a wide range of backgrounds, cultures, and experiences. 25% of our our workforce are female. 2 of our female employees are lead art and 2 are lead engineers. We avid supporters of Women in Games and Special Effect and Mind, which is a mental health charity based in the UK. The most important stuff, our games. So over the years, we've been privileged enough to work with many great publishers. Some of the games are Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, Assassin's Creed Chronicles, India, China, Russia. More recently, we've done Adventures of Time, Dawn of Dragons, and Crackdown 3, Age of Empires, which we spoke about yesterday, and the award-winning Returnal for the PS5. So currently, Climax has 4 locations across the UK. Edinburgh, Scotland, Liverpool on the docks, Portsmouth, which you mentioned, and new studio based in the centre of London, which opens up in 4 weeks. So, Portsmouth. I'm not allowed to move, am I? This is our studio here, which is home to over 100 developers. It's in a place called Gunwharf Quays. It's a unique, vibrant leisure centre full of shops, entertainment, and most importantly, lots of pubs. London, like I said, HQ's in the centre of the city. It's, if any of you have been to London, it's in the centre, Soho, near Covent Garden, and we have Holborn Tube just across the way. Liverpool, we're brand new studio, been open 6 months. We're in the heart of Albert Docks, beautiful location. And lastly, Edinburgh, which is our newest studio, in the heart of the city, overlooking the castle. So, if you come to Climax, what can we give you? We are an independent studio at heart, not so much anymore since we joined Keywords. It also means that we're not tied to any one publisher. That also means we're not tied to any one platform, one genre, or any kind of tech. What does that mean to you? It means that in your first years at Climax, you'll potentially work on a number of AAA projects, such as Returnal, Age of Empires, Silent Hill, Assassin's Creed. We pay loads and loads of money for you to come to the UK. We also offer you private dental care. We have excellent holiday package, over 40 days holiday a year, company pension, flexible working hours. You can even bring your dog to work. In the studio, especially for our Italian staff, we have fresh bean-to-cup coffee machine, fresh fruits, healthy snacks, and lots of healthy snacks. Lots of regular social events. 5-side football team. We've got 2 charity fundraising events, summer party, winter party. And like I said, you can actually bring your doggo to work, which Ben does regularly. Everyone gets a discount card, so you can get 40% off your Nike boots or your Adidas shoes. Gym membership subsidised. We have internships, graduate roles, code, art, design, unfortunately not production. We've got an A-rated sponsorship license from the UK Home Office, so we can get you a visa to work in the UK. And obviously we will offer you lots of money, again, to come to work in the UK. This is the intern information, probably not so relevant to everybody here, but if you're interested, take a snap. More internship information is probably not so relevant. Okay, this is the good stuff. These are recent titles. Like I said, we do a lot of co-development work, so if you came to Climax, these are the areas that you could be involved in. So for the Mafia Definitive Edition, which we did with 2K, PC, console, co-dev, we did a lot of mission design, a lot of environment art, set dressing, lighting, etc. A lot of UI and UX art. So that's the kind of areas we're looking to hire into at the moment. Returnal, absolute blessed to be working with this. Again, co-development project, we did level boss, enemy design, a lot of environment work, a lot of lighting. Ben mentioned the red desert level the other day. Character art, technical, VFX, animation, some rigging, again, UA, UI, and some QA. Again, this is Returnal PC. There's a full port from PS5 to the PC. Again, a lot of code, some UI, some tech art. QA. Age of Empire, again, absolutely blessed to be working on this. More code dev, a lot of PC engineering, console work, Xbox, full port, new interface work, UI, UX, design, tech art, QA. This is one of our newest projects, Everywhere, Mind's Eye. Again, another co-development project. A lot of level design, tracks, arenas, environment work, UI, tech, character art, and animation, rigging, and QA. So, if you'd like to meet us, we're over there. If you'd like to get in touch, we're over here. We're currently 200 staff at the moment. We're looking to be 400 staff by the end of next year. So you're welcome to come and say hello. And with that, I'm going to hand you over to Ben, who's got a lovely talk about his journey.
Right. Thank you, Stu. So I'm not going to give a technical talk or anything today. This is more of an overview of the games industry as I see it, how I fit into it, my journey through it. So I've kind of summarized it as a game dev map. So let's see what this map looks like. So this is my analogy of what the games industry might look like as a map. So we'll visit all of these areas and then maybe talk a little bit about the types of companies that you can work for, you know, what your journey might be. But before you start your journey, you've got to build your hero, right? So this is basically, you know, a chance to think about what's important to you, what do you want to get out of working in the games industry, you know, and what's the perfect role for you? So first of all, wealth. It comes up quite often. Some people just want to be rich, right? They just want to get as much money as possible. They want to be like Gabe Newell or Notch. I think they're probably in the wrong industry, but I did look at the top 10 richest game devs, and it was Gabe Newell, Notch, were the only two Westerners. All the rest were Chinese, so that's where the money is at the moment. You know, I think most of us probably, you know, want to make a good wage, but it's not necessarily all about the money. It's about the lifestyle of working with games. And, you know, some people just don't care. They just want to, you know, get their creative idea out. They don't care about the money side. So moving on to independence, this is basically how much control you want over your own destiny. So some people just want to make their own games. They've got their own ideas. They don't want anyone telling them it's rubbish. They just want to get their idea out. Again, most of us probably, you want to work on the kind of games that you like, but you don't mind working with other people. You don't mind feedback. Some people don't care. They just want to work on big AAA games. They don't care what part it is. They don't care what they get typecast into. They just want to get the big titles. So next up, you've got flexibility. So this is basically how much do you want to specialize in your area. Again, some people, they refuse to be categorized. They want to do some music. They want to do some art. They want to do some programming. You know, they want to touch everything. Again, most people in the games industry, they will become a coder. They'll become a designer. They'll specialize in their particular area. But again, if you take that to the extreme, you know, you can be in a big company, you could be a very, very tight specialist. So you could be working on vehicle physics or, you know, character face modeling, a very, very specific subset of your area. And finally, an important one, stress. I don't think I've ever met anyone who said this, but, you know, some jobs are stressful. I think most people, again, they all fall in the middle, so it's a games industry. You're going to get some stress when you need to get a game out, but you know you take that as part of the course. Something I found, as you get older, your stress requirements get down that end. You want a better work-life balance. So now that we've chosen our hero, where do we start on our adventure? Obviously, you start in Noob Landing. So, when you're just starting out, maybe I spoke to some of the students yesterday, you're thinking about what to do. This is a great time to start thinking about your path. So it's a really good time to experiment. You don't have the ties that you will have later on in your career. You don't have a big wage. Maybe you don't have a mortgage. So you can kind of use this time to put some crazy ideas out there. You've got less to lose, so you're not throwing away an existing career. And it's really hard to take a chance later on in life when you've got a bigger wage, maybe you've got a family to support. So if you're just starting out, this is when you want to take your chances. So moving on. Hermit's Hollow. So a remote cave where solitary creatures forge their whimsical worlds. So I didn't actually write these. I got ChatGPT to come up with these. So this is like your solo devs. So Toby Fox, Undertale. You've got Lucas Pope, Papers, Please. So this is very small teams. One person, maybe two. They can have a really big impact on the industry. These are single people who have been very influential. So as I said, yes, solo devs or maybe very, very small teams. You have total creative freedom. No one's going to tell you your idea is rubbish. You're just going to get it out there. It's great for building a portfolio. You can create some really interesting work to show people if you're trying to get a job later. And let's look at the stats. Well, independence, obviously totally high. You can do whatever you want. You've got to be extremely flexible. You've got to be able to program, art, music, do everything yourself. Marketing's really important. Maybe you want to think about that if you're a solo dev. Stress is obviously quite high because you're on your own. You're doing everything. It can be quite stressful. Wealth. Well, if you make Flappy Bird, you're going to be very, very rich, right? But in reality, yeah, you're going to be very poor. But, it can be fun. So it's probably interesting to think in the future, maybe generative AI, I know it's a difficult topic, but maybe that's going to help people do more on their own. So moving on, next one up, Indie Woods. So this is basically any indie company you can name. I put a few down here, but you've all got your favorites. So this might describe quite a lot of you here. So obviously, Italy's got a great indie scene, lots and lots of great games that I've seen. Obviously, you've got a good amount of freedom. You can make the game that you want to make. But it can be a roller coaster. So you've got to get your game out there. Your game's got to be a hit. That might give you enough money to make another game. But you've got to keep those games coming. So you basically need constant hits to keep your money coming in and make your business viable. Again, you might get very wealthy, but probably not. A lot of independence, a lot of flexibility, a little bit of less stress because you've got a team to help you. So it's a good place to be. So moving on, the Twin Oaks Guild. So this is effectively companies that do their own games, but then maybe also work with other companies as well. So I've put down there, Sume Digital were before they were purchased, Fire Sprite were before they were purchased. I've put down Untold Games as well. That's an Italian example. So they do this. So, this is kind of like the best of both worlds, right? So you get to work with big clients. They give you a constant money stream coming in. But you also get to work on your own games. So it's a nice place to be. Your work for hire provides funds. And then you can take all that money and then you can throw it away on your own games. But it's kind of like a nice place to be. It can pay off really big. So if you take a company like Fire Sprite, gets bought out by Sony, Sumo Digital got bought out by is it NetEase, I think? I don't know, one of the Chinese ones. So it can be a really good way to make money. But generally the wages are going to be okay. You've got some independence, but you're doing work for hire as well, so you're being kind of told what to do. Less flexibility. You know, you're going to be going in as a programmer, you're going to be going in as a designer. There's not that kind of organic shifting. But it's less stressful, for sure. Less stressful. So, moving on, mercenary camp, a fortified keep where skilled artisans and their wise strategists offer their expertise. This is basically us, Climax Studios. There's there's loads of companies that do this, Nixies, Iron Galaxy. They've been bought by Sony now as well. But so this is people that just do co-development with other studios. And you know, I'm going to be very biased here, but personally, I think this is a great place to work, this kind of company. So the reason being is you get the chance to work on AAA games. So as Stuart mentioned, for us it was Returnal, Age of Empires. It made me super happy to be able to have a part with those games. But you get to keep a good variety. You know, you're not just... If you're working for EA and you're working on FIFA for the rest of your life, and maybe just a very tiny bit of FIFA, that's not necessarily rewarding. It's probably the lowest stress company because you're work for hire. You know, they pay 40 hours a week of your time. After that, you're done. You're not crunching. You're not expected to stay there for weeks and weeks on end, working late. So wages, pretty good, a little bit higher. Again, independence and flexibility, not so good, but this is where it really pays off. So you've got low stress and a good variety of games. And finally, Castle AAA. I mean, you know who these are, right? These are the big, big boys. So this is many people's dream. You know, I want to work with Rockstar. I want to work on Assassin's Creed. So you get to work on the games that you love, sure. But you don't get much variety, you know. Working on GTA 6 for 8 years can be pretty dull. Yeah, not much fun. One of the interesting things is you're working on such a small slice of the game, you get very typecast into a little, you know, maybe you're doing UI programming for 6 years, whereas if you're in a co-dev company, you're going to get it mixed up a lot more. So again, well, wealth, you're going to get the biggest wages for sure in any, you know, as an employee at a AAA company. Very low independence, you do what you're told. Flexibility, you're going to be a specialist. This is where you get the really specific job titles. You're not just programmer, you're the UI programmer. You're, you know, very, very, very specific. And for sure, this is where you get stress. This is your crunch company, right? Cool. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. Mainly I was mercenary camp, so I've worked as a co-dev role for most of my life. I did have a brief quest into indie woods, which was enjoyable, but then I came back to co-dev. So I started as a programmer, tech director, dev director, so I moved into production. And now I'm a studio head, so I run the Portsmouth studio for Climax. Whoa. So over my career, I worked on a great variety of games. I got to work on great IPs like Silent Hill, Assassin's Creed, Returnal. I'm okay wealthy. I'm not rich. Yeah, independence, flexibility. I had a good mix of stuff in my career. I've managed to jump between different roles. My stress is a little bit higher because I'm a studio head, so that's hard work. But yeah, overall, this is my story. So here's the most important slide for me. Why am I not rich? So I run a studio of over 100 people. I make millions of revenue for Climax every year. You know, I'm not complaining. I've got a good wage, but I am not rich. I am not Gabe Newell. I'm not Notch. Why is that? And there's one word, equity. And this is something that's very important if you're starting out. So why is equity important? So if someone pays your wages, no matter how good you are, you're effectively working class. You know, someone is paying money to you. So you can get wealthy, you can get a very well-paid job, but you're never going to get rich. You're not going to be driving around, you know, Lamborghini or whatever. Well, maybe. Yeah, however, if you have a stake in a company, some IP, stake in IP, or some tech, you can get rich while it's successful because you're getting a share of those profits. Get super rich when you sell it or go public. So when Climax was sold, I didn't have any IP, so I didn't get rich. But the person who started Climax, yeah, he's not working there anymore. Yeah, he probably has got a Lamborghini, yeah. So how do you get equity? Simple, found a company, some of you have, you own it. Come up with a great IP while not employed, because if you're employed, your employer owns that IP. Be an early employee, then you might get significant share options. So I'm thinking about, some people who worked at Microsoft early on, they got very rich. If you're an important employee, like a CEO or a CTO, you can get significant share options. But you can negotiate for it if you're, quite high up in the company. But it's still down to luck. Your company still needs to be successful. So I wouldn't try and aim for this. I wouldn't advise anyone to aim for wealth, not in the games industry. So in summary, I'd say take the chances when you can. When you're young, that's when you want to experiment and enjoy yourself. Don't chase wealth. I think it's the wrong industry to do that. You need to be very, very lucky. So yeah, don't make that your number one aim. Don't necessarily chase your dream companies because they can be a very dull place to work, quite disheartening. So concentrate on enjoying your day-to-day work. Everything else is a bonus. So you've got to go into a place of work every day, do the job, make something you really love. So I'll just leave you with one more Zelda quote, So it's your story, you're the hero, choose your path wisely, and most importantly, enjoy yourself. So thank you very much.